This program is brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana. Welcome to First Issues. The makings of an entrepreneur are in how they recognize a solution to a problem that plagues masses, including themselves, exactly like our guest medical esthetician, Dr. Precious Serero, did. The backstory is that Dr. Serero knew medicine. She had the degree, the clinic experience, and the dedication of a true general practitioner. But every morning, the mirror offered her a relentless personal challenge: acne. For a couple of years, her own skin was a battlefield of flare-ups and stubborn scars, a painful vulnerability that belied the competence of her professional life. The turning point wasn't a breakthrough cure, it was a shift in perspective. Dr. Serero realized that her clinical expertise, honed by years of diagnosing and treating illness, combined with her lived experience of skin despair, was a unique and powerful foundation. Her personal struggle did not have to be a secret shame. It could be the catalyst for a better kind of healthcare. This vision gave birth to Phemo Aesthetics. Dr. Serero knew she was giving into a global ocean of opportunity. The global skincare market was valued at approximately $116 billion in 2024, according to Fortune Business Insights, while the entire global aesthetic market was valued at just under $90 billion in the same year. The broader Middle East and Africa beauty industry had already scaled to an estimated $30 billion in 2023, indicating a robust and high-spending consumer base that is ready to invest in personal care, a piece of the pie that Dr. Serero already plays for. Well, here's our conversation with Dr. Serero, unpacking her keen entrepreneurial skills, tenacity, and determination. I know you said that aesthetics is medicine, right? But you went to school for 7 years to be a general practitioner. And to the layperson, right, medicine is treating ailments like or like the everyday ailments and nothing really to do with beauty, right? So then also to the lay person, the 7 years might feel like a waste of time. Do you believe that to be the same for you?
I am Dr. Precious. I am a medical doctor by profession. Medicine is very broad, like extremely broad. It's just that we have been exposed to the conventional specialties, and there's quite a number of specialties that we're also not aware of. And also, we have also limited medicine to clinical practice only, which is hospital or clinic only, and forgetting that there's a whole lot of different paths that you can take and utilize your medical degree on. So that's number one. Number two, I personally do not believe that in your journey of growth and development there's ever something called waste, because every experience counts for something, right? And I do get that a lot. I mean, even when I was still an intern and we were having a conversation with some of my colleagues, and I was, sharing where I want to end up as far as medicine is concerned. I am still a doctor. I still practice medicine that is called aesthetic medicine. So yeah, it's not a waste. No experience is ever a waste. Everything works together. All the dots eventually connect when you look back. So, I mean, I could have started medical school thinking I'm going to be a pediatric cardiologist, which is what I wanted to do. But as I went through the years working as a general doctor, and I realized, I'm leaning towards something where I want to combine my other passions, of course, like I said, the love for beauty, the love for creativity, and the love for science as well. And this allows me to do exactly that.
I want us to focus on something you just said there, that you're a GP, right? And you realized, something is not making sure, like the youngings would say. Was there a pivotal moment that, after all of that, you said, I am on the right path, starting or wanting to start my medical aesthetics practice?
I don't think there's like one single moment that happens most of the time, and I want to think that I speak for a lot of people as well. I think it's an accumulation of many little experiences and moments that eventually paint this picture for you, that you realize that I might have started thinking this is the direction I want to go, but as the pixels are coming together and forming this picture, I'm realizing that I would rather go a different direction. I have a bit of a background where I grew up witnessing entrepreneurship, and that was also what influenced the decision as well. I was raised by my grandmother at some point, and she was very enterprising, and that's where those seeds were also planted. So there was a part of me that felt like, no, but I would love to give myself an opportunity to pursue entrepreneurship, and how do I do that with the background that I have in medicine? What can I do? And so everything then just connected slowly until I was like, okay, this is the direction I want to go.
bitsa motho gore motho a leke mangwala go duela metsi.
Mama, ka mala jana o tlhoka le go tsamela kgakala gore go duela metsi. FNB re diretse tiro motho.
Senthe.
Ma kwa go marekisetsong a ile gore ana le tshwala FNB Cash Plus. So se tlhokanyela ke o mangwa ga go mo tirisong le reference number e bon dinomoro tse diriswang go ruragatsa dituelo tsa gago.
FNB what?
FNB Cash Plus.
Madonna makante ke ngonto sampolele ka mananeo a FNB ya Cash Plus.
La ha re le nna ke gone go utang ka dona ebile ke be ke sa dumele.
Deposit cash and coins, withdraw from e-wallet, make cardless cash withdrawals, buy prepaid airtime and electricity, pay bills such as water, electricity and many more.
FNB. Dona. Nyawa ena ke ra sa thare. Mpare motiki. Na ke ra go motho hela mamarapedi. O tola skontere hela. O bua go semosong wa go duela semosong. Manane wa FNB Cash Plus.
FNB, how can we help you?
Medicine is very broad, like extremely broad. It's just that we have been exposed to the conventional specialties, and there's quite a number of specialties that we're also not aware of.
Thank you so much for staying with First Issues. We continue our conversation with Dr. Precious Serero at Phemo Aesthetics Clinic. With this being a sort of a full circle moment, right, with you having been raised by your grandmother at some point in your life and her being an enterprising person and then you wanting to be like her and then ultimately reaching that vision, what are some struggles that you have encountered along the journey of realizing this dream?
I could write a whole book about that. There's a lot. And entrepreneurship is, I always say it's a free ticket, free. ticket to personal development, because I think first and foremost what being an entrepreneur will force you to do is to develop yourself. Everything else then rests on that. Yeah, I think one of the things that I became acutely aware of was that financial literacy is very important. You need to, you may be great as a technical person, you may know how to do your craft, but once you step into that space of enterprising, it's no longer just about the technical aspect. That is like a little fraction of the big thing that you're working on. So financial literacy is very important, and then comes the many other aspects of running an enterprise: business development, handling and managing people that you're working with, and curating a vision that you're able to also communicate to the team, being able to have people buy into the vision that you're building. So there's multiple aspects of being an entrepreneur or enterprising that presents different challenges at any given point in time. And then there's also the part where you now have to grow, you have to scale, the team has to be bigger, it's not just you. You have to relinquish control in some areas, learn to delegate, learn to arm people with the skills they need to execute certain things within this vision that you're building. So there's many many areas that you can look into that can present themselves as potential challenges, but also more than anything, I think they point you to areas that you want to work on and improve on.
Had it not been for your own personal struggles with your skin, do you believe that you would have chosen, or you would have still chosen, to go this route?
Yes, I still would have done this, even if I did not personally experience what acne feels like. And a huge part of it is based on what I said earlier about combining things that I'm passionate about and having them in one basket, you know. So it still would have been a thing of, I love entrepreneurship, I love creativity, I love beauty, I love science. How do I make them all work together in one picture for me? So even outside of that, it would have been that. I think the second part of it would have been that I think there's nothing as fulfilling as being part of someone's transformation journey. I can't tell you how, like, the amount of joy it gives me to see someone's face light up in the literal and figurative sense when we have walked a journey from dark, look at my face, I've got pimples and dark spots, and we get to a point and it's like, what? This is me, you know. So just being part of that journey is one of the biggest privileges that I get to enjoy in the work that I do. Being able to, I want to say, restore, quote unquote, someone's confidence in how they feel about themselves and how they look at themselves as well. And I usually say one of the interesting things about our work is that you'd imagine you're just coming in to get a pimple treated, but sometimes it becomes this therapy session where now it's no longer just your face that you're working on, but you're working on your communication skills, you're working there. So it becomes this ripple effect, because what you do in one area of your life will most always spill over into the other area.
Is there something that you could have done a better job of that could have possibly propelled you eons further into the future than where you are today?
Yes, fear. I think if there's one thing that I could have done a better job at, would have been to be a little bit more courageous, a little bit more brave. And I say this to mean, you know, sometimes you're too afraid to ask. And I think there's there's a quote or a phrase that goes something along the lines of closed mouths don't get fed.
Yes.
You know, so sometimes you sit in this place and you're not moving forward or backwards because you're just not asking for what you need. And sometimes you're not asking for what you need because you don't know what you need, you know. So I think for me it would have been just the courage, the bravery to be bold enough to ask for what I need or needed for me to take the business from one level to another. Sometimes you feel like I need to build it to a certain level before I can start asking, whether it's for capital, whether it's for support in different areas. And yeah, so I think it's really that. And as I'm growing, or as I have grown in the area, in the industry, I realized that also collaboration is where it's at. Partnerships are where it's at. Yes, it's well and good to be a founder and be the solopreneur, but there really is so much to be gotten from partnerships and collaborations. So those are some of the things that when I look back, I'm like, if I had done this a little bit earlier on, I think I would have been a bit further.
Well, in the end, by offering medical-grade skin treatment with a personal and empathetic touch, a touch forged in her own battle with acne, Dr. Precious Serero transformed her past weakness into a remarkably relatable brand identity. And with that, we will see you shortly after commercials.
Bitsa motho gore motho a leke mangwala go duela metsi.
Mama, ka re male jana ha o tlhoka le go tsamela kgakala gore go duela metsi. FNB re diretse tiro motho.
Senthe.
Ma kwa go marekisetsong a ile gore ana le tshwala FNB Cash Plus. So se tlhokanyela ke o mang wa gago mo tirisong le reference number e bon dinomoro tse diriswang go ruragatsa dituelo tsa gago.
FNB what?
FNB Cash Plus.
Madonna makante ke montso sampolele ka mananeo a FNB ya Cash Plus.
Hela ha re le nna ke gone go utlwang ka dona ebile ke ne ke sa dumele.
Deposit cash and coins, withdraw from e-wallet, make cardless cash withdrawals, buy prepaid airtime and electricity, pay bills such as water, electricity and many more.
FNB.
Dona. Nyawa ene ke ra sa thare. Mpare motiki. Na ke ra go motho hela mamrapedi go tola skontere hela o bua go semosong wa go duela semoso manane wa FNB Cash Plus.
FNB, how can we help you?
Welcome back to the program. For years, the conventional interest-based banking system has been the singular backbone of business in Botswana. But what if there was a credible asset-based alternative? Islamic banking is no longer a niche concept reserved for a few. It is a globally recognized model that has now firmly established itself on the local financial landscape, offering a compelling alternative for Botswana entrepreneurs across all sectors, regardless of faith. The fundamental difference lies in the core legal principles of Sharia-compliant finance, including the absolute prohibition of interest. More importantly for our local economy, studies examining the African market, such as research from the International Finance Corporation and ResearchGate, have shown that Islamic finance tools have a positive impact on entrepreneurial motivation and firm competitiveness in the SME sector. In a country like Botswana, where entrepreneurs often seek responsible and non-exploitative financing, this model offers a powerful solution for accessing capital. Who is eligible for this solution? Our discussion with Mohammed Yaaseen Rotkin, deal maker at one of the local commercial banks, endeavors to figure out just that.
Firstly, Islamic banking is based on the principles of Islamic law that prohibit the paying and earning of interest. Contrary to conventional banks, Islamic banking makes its income or generates its income of the trading of goods and services, as an example. So we finance and lease goods and services to clients, and from there we generate fees as well. So that's how Islamic banking operates differently. We also prohibit, or Islamic banking rather prohibits the use of any products or services that are unlawful in Islamic practices. You find things like gambling and alcohol, which are prohibited by the Islamic law.
So then how are F&B accounts different from Islamic banking accounts? Is there any specific difference?
So firstly, F&B Islamic banking accounts compared to your conventional accounts, or your conventional F&B accounts rather, key differences are on the Islamic banking side of things. We don't charge or pay any interest to our clients, as it is prohibited in the religion. Saying that also, we don't have the overdraft options on the accounts, and we also pay a monthly profit share based on the average balances that our clients hold in their accounts. So it's sort of a reward for banking with us, if you want to call it as that.
It seems that we're talking about Islamic banking, and we know that Islam is a religion, but can anybody with an existing current account with the bank convert that account to an F&B Islamic banking account, and what do they need to facilitate that change?
I think that's a very good question you ask, and I'm happy that you raised that. So there is a lot of the time stigma that Islamic banking is only for the Muslims, but Islamic banking was generally designed to cater for the needs of the Islamic clients based on their religious beliefs and principles, for example, of not paying or earning interest. But it's not limited to them only. It's available to all our clients regardless of their race and religion. We avail it through all our branches nationwide and through all our platforms. Simply to answer your question with regards to conversion, all the clients need to do is visit the nearest branch or engage their relationship teams to request to convert the account to an Islamic banking account, as an example. And with that, they'll just be advised to sign the updated terms and conditions for the Islamic account. But the look and feel in terms of how they will be affected with their daily banking, it's exactly the same. Things like debit orders and won't get cancelled. They will stay the same. The account numbers will stay the same. Your online profile will stay the same. Your app profile, your presence basically remains the same. It's only the type or the way in which you bank that changes to a Sharia compliant manner.
As highlighted, Islamic banking solutions and products are available to anyone, to all entrepreneurs, irrespective of their race or religion, perfectly suited for a market that is focused on long-term prosperity. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's installment of First Issues. Until next time, good night. This program is brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.